Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Just a few more things on the economics before we go to Pakistan. The U.S. is, of course, mired in depression, and we've seen these housing prices continue to decline. Now, the Keynesian side, I guess, wants to say, well, we need to prop up that bubble and try to raise the prices. And the reactionaries, speaking through the Wall Street Journal here, say, no, we need a total deflationary crash. Notice that the reactionary program is always to have an immediate total deflationary crash. Massive unemployment, liquidate everything, as Andrew Mellon said. Liquidate stocks, liquidate bonds, liquidate labor, liquidate the farmer, liquidate everything, with this vague hope that then there'll be a recovery. Too bad if you died. So that's the Wall Street Journal line. They want everything to crash down. Of course, this appeals to people who have money and who believe they will have money in the future and that they can buy you and your property and your house and your car at bargain basement distressed merchandise prices. That's why they like this idea. And you see this creeps into the entire Austrian school. Continuing, the Wall Street Journal has an interesting paragraph in their editorial of yesterday, June 2nd. They say, no, we can't be worried about propping up the speculative bubble. A healthier economy must be built on capital investment in plant and equipment, new ideas, and new companies. We need an investment boom, not another housing bubble. This goes to the heart of the matter. Indeed, a healthier economy would be built on capital investment in plant and equipment. And this is exactly what the U.S. ruling elite does not, repeat, not do. If you give the U.S. Elite, be it the Malthusian branch of it or the monetarist branch of it, you give them money, they will not invest in productive plant and equipment based on technological innovations. We know what they will do. They will go to Goldman Sachs and they will say, I want to buy derivatives. I want Timberwolf. I want Abacus. I want other collateralized debt obligations. I want to speculate with credit default swaps. I want to buy some structured investment vehicles. I want derivatives. I want to increase the amount of toxic paper because that's where the profit rates are thought to be higher. If you really want to have tax cuts for the rich or even keep the current level, the only conceivable way that this could be done economically is to have a job creation tax credit where they say, oh, we're the job creators, right? We have Congressman Boehner always saying, you can't increase taxes on the job creators. Well, they're not job creators. They're derivatives buyers. If they want to come on the scene as job creators, then prove it. Show us at the end of the year how many jobs you actually created. What's the level of capital investment per job? What's the technological content? All these wonderful things that the Wall Street Journal editorial writes about. And then maybe you'll get a tax break based on that. You shouldn't need to get a tax credit. If you create jobs, you should get a tax credit. But that's not what the Republicans are proposing. They're saying, let's shower more wealth, more largesse on the super rich, and then have the pious hope, the wish that they will create new plant and equipment based on technological innovation. It hasn't worked. They haven't done it up to now. Why should they change? The problem, of course, is that the rate of profit in the derivatives is so much higher that it always crowds out productive investment. And since the derivative speculation is not taxed, that's a subsidy by the federal government to promote derivative speculation compared to investment in productive plant and equipment, which is taxed. So this all has to change. 0% federal credit from a nationalized, seized Federal Reserve operating as Bank of the United States. That goes preferentially into real production, and precisely into productive plant and equipment based on technological innovation. So now let's switch. We talked about the Chinese warning again to the United States. Let's look at the Pakistan front. The Washington Post continues to campaign heavily against Pakistan this past week. A couple of examples. Last Saturday, May 28th, big article on the front page, big new CIA campaign. Infiltrators worry the Pakistani military. We are under attack. And this is designed to plant the idea that the Pakistani armed forces and, of course, the infamous demonized ISI are honeycombed with cells and nests of terrorists. Oh, my gosh. We have, the problems faced by General Kayani and so forth, the shadowy arm of the ISI. They talk about something called the S-wing of the ISI, devoted to relations with militant organizations and all these dark suggestions. Well, how about David Headley, the DEA CIA agent who led the Mumbai terror attack? What was finally the story with that guy, Ray Davis, where the Russians say that he was delivering atomic, bacteriological, and chemical weapons to terrorists so that they could attack U.S. installations and then facilitate the U.S. seizing the Pakistani nuclear forces? So that's the Washington Post last Saturday. Then, again on Monday of this past week, Washington Post, in Afghan war, the Haqqani group is your main enemy. In Afghan war, the Haqqani group is the resilient foe. Operations are based in Pakistan. Network is seen as least reconcilable insurgent faction. So here you get the idea. The U.S. is known to be talking to Mullah Omar, one-eyed Mullah Omar, the guy who escaped on the motorbike, allegedly, from Tora Bora or whatever it was back in the late 2001. But now we're told there's something worse. It's the Haqqani network. The idea being the U.S. is trying to make a deal with the Taliban mainline, I guess, and turn them against Pakistan, use them as irregular terrorist guerrilla forces. Again, the name of the game is to wage irregular terrorist guerrilla operations on Pakistan below the nuclear threshold, oblique warfare, guerrilla operations. So you don't get to the point of a nuclear exchange, but you're trying to destroy Pakistan below that threshold. Now, the word is that the Pakistani, the ISI indeed, they have attempted to make their separate deal with this Haqqani network. But, of course, the moral valuations, the moral signs placed on it are political evaluations, too. The U.S. wants to deal with the Taliban. Mullah Omar is a great guy. Pakistan deals with the Haqqani network. Those guys are really bad. This makes no sense. In other words, this is, of course, the usual double standard, hypocrisy, deception, and all the rest. Now, even more complex is the case of this Pakistani reporter who has now been killed, right? This is Saeed Salim Shahzad, who disappeared on Sunday, and then his body was found later in the week. And we'll see how this has been used by the Washington Post to target Pakistan. And we'll be back in a minute on World Crisis Radio.